I welcome all those who would like to take a look in the future with me. It is all about replacing faith with knowledge. I would like to present evidence of the immortality of the human soul. Science, of course, has completely different ideas of this, but I ask you to form your own judgment. The demonstration of the evidence shall take place in a dialogue. I have been able to win Asli, a young female student, for it, who acts out this evidence with me. If this evidence is acceptable for you, I would be happy if you would set in motion a little verbal propaganda for it. Hello Asli, you want to get to know the most important evidence of my philosophy. So, please, I am ready.
Hello Adolf, I'm curious, of course also skeptical. I hope it isn't hot air you are producing. Alright, just fire away.
Okay, I imagine two identical twins. The brains of the two twins shall be completely identical too.
Stop, I believe this doesn't work. There will never be such twins. Your proof already collapses in the beginning.
There will probably never be such identical people. However, there is no reason to reject this idea from the start. I am talking about the possibility of such twins existing. The probability for this is rather low. An extremely low probability is, however, an impossibility. It can be calculated, even the probability that such twins will exist perhaps within quintillions years. The probability is low, however, it is not zero.
Okay, let's assume these twins exist. The twins thus are completely identical. What happens then?
At first they only exchange seeds. Of course, each individual twin keeps his own consciousness.
This is obvious. If I walk from one place to another, my consciousness walks with me. I do not need a twin for this at my side.
But now I do something different. I exchange the brain cells of the twins bit by bit, always one after the other.
What do you mean by this? Are the twins frozen and then decided in cubes? And then the frozen cubes are replaced with the other twins' cubes?
Of course not. It happens with me in micro operations. Atoms, at best molecules, are exchanged.
How should this be possible? Atoms are too small for people to grasp and exchange them.
The exchange happens only apparently. I can assign every brain cell the appropriate brain cell of the other twin. Every atom of the one twin can be assigned the corresponding atom of the other twin. I only exchange all atoms assigned to each other with the corresponding atoms of the other twin in my mind. In the end, I have then exchanged the entire brains.
In a thought experiment, this may work. In reality, however, it does not.
Oh, yet it works. Physics delivers the explanation. Physics says that identical particles, for example, identical elementary particles, simply can exchange places. This is called the tunnel effect. This is a law of quantum physics. Because the particles exchanged are identical, the tunnel effect cannot be falsified experimentally.
This means that by the tunnel effect, the particles of one twin's brain are exchanged with those of the other one.
That's how it is.
How do I know that the identity of the twins has not been exchanged as well? They themselves cannot give any information about this, and from the outside, the identity of the twins cannot be determined.
We have to take a closer look at the tunnel effect. It is only an apparent exchange of particles. No real exchange takes place in physics too. Otherwise, all protons, neutrons and so on would have to switch places with each other constantly. One is only allowed to pretend that identical particles are switching places. In reality, it does not make a difference whether the particles of the brain remain in their place or if they are exchanged.
Then the previous consciousness remains unchanged in the twins?
That's right. It remains unchanged in the twins, although one may pretend that the particles of one twin's brain are exchanged with the ions of the other.
Perhaps this is only this way because identical twins have only one single consciousness.
No. Identical twins also have different consciousnesses.
This is only an assumption. Actually, this cannot be determined. Because of the law probability for the situation occurring, the probability practically is zero.
Let's assume such a set of identical twins existed. Then the otherwise individual consciousnesses of the two twins become one. This means that all feelings of the one twin also become feelings of the other one.
I think I can imagine this.
Now I place one twin on Earth and the other one on a planet in a distant galaxy. If I cause pain in the twin here on the Earth, the twin on the distant planet also will feel the pain because he has the same consciousness as his counterpart on Earth.
This is obvious. If two bodies have only one consciousness, every pain of the one body has to become a pain of the other body too.
This means that the information of the pain covers the distance between the Earth and the distant star without time consuming. However, this is impossible because of the finiteness of the signal velocity, which cannot be greater than the velocity of light according to Einstein.
So we have two methods to exchange the brain particles. Firstly, the exchange as a whole, and the other time, one after the other.
That's correct. The first time the consciousness is exchanged with the brain, the other time it remains where it is.
This looks as if the consciousness hangs like a kind of backpack on the body.
Not exactly, but this is a quite good model. Then the consciousness would have its origin in a soul area outside the body, but really tightly coupled to the brain.
Perhaps the entity is also just one unique particle.
This is not possible. Before this particle can become connected to a body, it would wander around in space freely. How should it be located to become attached to the nascent embryo? Because it can be assumed that such a particle is an elementary particle, it would just have 1/1,000,000th of the extension of a cell. Thus, the particle would be unlocatable for the embryo.
Perhaps it is an area with many particles, in which an unique particle is embedded as a central feeling unit.
This is exactly the case, but this area surely cannot be part of the matter which forms us and the universe surrounding us. It must be a different area which is protected completely against any kind of dissolution.
If consciousness arises in the feeling particle, why does it need still a closed area for emotions? Have the particles a particular function, or do they only buzz around there?
On the contrary, for the feeling particle, they are the connection to the other world. They contact the sensitive points on the feeling particle and create feelings within it. For this to work properly, the soul area needs to contain a large number of particles which are movable amongst each other.
Is this possible shifting not the reason that particles break away from the soul area and disappear?
This cannot be true. This is the most important quality of the area. If particles could move away from the soul area, then the feeling particle could too. This would mean that this particle would disappear forever in the sea of the other matter particles. This must not be. This only can be prevented by the soul area being closed permanently materially. This area becomes an universe.
This means that the soul area does not have any connection to the other matter.
The soul area is separated only partially from the rest matter. Although the particle exchange is prevented between the feeling area and the other matter, the exchange of information is not. Information can indeed move back and forth through coupling particles between the areas. Thus the soul area receives the information necessary for the production of feelings and reactions to them.
How do I have to imagine this soul area and this insertion in the other matter?
We have to imagine the soul area as a ball. The feeling particles sits in the middle. The other non-feeling particles fill the rest of the ball. They contact the sensor points of the feeling particle and trigger feelings within it. The coupling particles sit on the surface of the ball. These have contact both to the particles in the soul area as well as to those of the other matter. These coupling particles let information but no particles pass between the areas.
Instead of soul area, we could simply say soul, can't we?
This is how it is, and it is a rule. Since the soul is separated permanently from the rest of the matter, neither has it been created nor can be destroyed permanently. It exists from eternity to eternity. The soul is immortal.